Hi there, we're here with Peter Cosgrove and Julia Hilling. They are two Rothschild victims of the Equity Release scheme, and what we want is to have the cameras to film them giving their statement of what exactly happened when they got caught in this very difficult situation for them. Julia, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Listen, we're just here just to get your sort of first-hand statement of your situation, how you feel, how you got into this, who you got through with this, and basically how you feel now with this equity release situation.
Exactly.
I was going to ask you in the first place, I mean, how old are you?
I'm 88.
88 years of age?
88, yes. Right. And I don't feel it.
Right. How did you actually get involved with equity release?
Well, I needed at the time income, and I was very, very short of income, and I thought I'll never be able to stay here in this lovely flat, and what will life be? And I lived here 16 years after my husband died quite well, and then I found it very hard to get my community and my things together to pay for it. And I thought, what am I going to do? My family were in England, they're busy with their lives, I never disturbed them. And I just did everything on my own accord, and I thought I did the best when I heard about this equity release situation, which is, I think, a great danger to other people.
And which bank was being offered, was being put forward for this product in particular?
Rothschilds. I think the Rothschilds, you'd think they were a safe haven. Yeah. You'd think they were a very good bank. It couldn't be better. I'd be in good hands there. So I took the offer that Peter Hardy, who was selling it, gave to me. Yeah. I was looking for it for a long time. But I found Peter who was going to help me, so he thought he would.
Right,
you know,
it's Peter Hardy.
Peter Hardy, yes.
Okay, working for Hamilton.
Yes, and I believe he lives here in Harrogate now.
Right,
yes.
Okay. And what they did is they mortgaged your home and they sent the monies to Luxembourg, as far as I understand.
They invested the money in Luxembourg in a firm called Aspecta.
Yes.
And the money is still there in my name, and also Rothschild's guarding it very carefully too.
Right. So how much did they actually offer you as a guaranteed return for your investment? How much did they say you would have on top of your pension to help you?
On top of my pension, which I had, it was going to be 8,000 or 9,000, about that.
Per year?
A year.
Right.
A year. It wasn't too bad. I thought, well, for me, I'll be able to manage this. Right. And in the next few years, I didn't know I would live so long anyway. I mean, I'm lucky.
You look fantastic to me anyway.
But I went in for it because I had no other way out. My children couldn't afford to keep me. And I had visions after, I lived here 16 years, and after that I thought I've got to do something.
Yeah.
I've got to do something, think something. And this came up, and I thought that could be my answer. I went to other companies, I'd seen other people, so I knew what it was about.
Yeah.
But this one, I thought, well, Peter Hardy, I trusted him then, somehow.
And you trusted the bank, obviously, it's a big name in England.
He sold it to me
on
behalf of Rothschilds.
Right. What about you, Peter? How did you get in touch with the
Well, I didn't really get in touch. I was telling, a cold call came. And
you were cold called?
Yes, in 2005. And Peter Hardy telephoned me and said, I'm a financial advisor, I work from Hamilton's in La Carla, and I would like to talk about investments with you. And I said, I don't need anybody to talk to me about investments. I have my money in Barclays Bank, and I'm perfectly all right, but I am a little bit worried because my income has dropped since 2001. And whereas I was getting 8% from my income, I'm now getting about 3%, and I'm finding it a bit difficult to live. I said, but I can make it. I own my house, I own my car, I don't owe money to anybody, and I can manage to live, but it doesn't give me the things that I would like. I would like to be able to go abroad on holiday. And he said, well, where is your money? And I said, it's in Barclays Bank.
Right.
And he said, oh, you should never have all your money in one bank.
Mm.
So I said, well, that's what I've got, and I really don't know what to do. I'm not a financial man. I'm still adding up on my fingers in any case. And he said, well, can I come round and speak to you? I said, yes. He came round. I opened the door to him, and I thought, oh gosh, what a lovely looking fellow. I'm absolutely, you know, he seems genuine. And he sat and told me about where I could invest my money. And he said, I said, well, I have £115,000 on deposit in Barclays Bank. And he said, oh, you shouldn't do that, you should invest it. So he said, I'll come back round and see you, you know, in 2 or 3 weeks' time after I've looked at all your papers. He called me 2 days later to say, can I come to the office, which I did. And he said, you must take this money out of Barclays and put it into commercial properties in the Isle of Man. There you will get 9-10% on your money, which I did. The first 6 months I got 2 incomes of £7,200, and then after that I've had no income from it since.
Right.
And I invested in commercial properties, and since the commercial houses nobody's buying or anything, my income, I've got no income.
Yeah.
All I have is 2 pieces of paper to say that I have 40-odd thousand shares.
Peter, let me just ask you a question. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 letters from Rothschild. I mean, what are these letters for?
Well, these letters are demanding money from me, saying that I am in default.
But it's supposed to be guaranteed.
They say I did not go into equity release, I went into a loan facility, and Swiss Life is not an equity release, it's a loan facility, and you owe us this money. And I've written to them several times. The last letter I got from them, they said, we do know, Mr. Cosgrove, that you have sufficient funds to meet the shortfall, and we suggest that you sell your Hansard's, your investments in the commercial property, and pay us the money that you owe us, and you must sell your house to pay us the rest.
Right. I mean, did the Rothschild name help you make a decision?
Yes, it did, because Peter Hardy for 12 months was on about Rothschilds, what a wonderful scheme they had for people of my age and in my position. I'm a bachelor, I have no family, and I was going to leave my house I am leaving my house to a very good friend.
And the taxes
and he said, oh dear, the taxes on your house in Benalmádena, Pueblo, is going to be, as you're a bachelor, no family, he's going to have to pay 85% inheritance tax. And I thought, well, that's ridiculous. The house is only worth a couple of €100,000. That means my friend doesn't get anything. So Peter Hardy said, you can do this scheme where they will pay you 3% of your income, and it's 100% guaranteed. And I never went any further. I just said, oh, all right, let's do it.
Julia, tell us one thing. I mean, you suffered and you survived the war.
Yeah.
I understand from...
I'm still here.
And you're still here. And you will survive Rothschild, I understand.
Yes.
Won't you?
Yes. I will never forget their name, I don't think. I think it's something really dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, what were you doing during the war? You lived in London? I
lived in London when I was a girl. I was in theatre.
Right.
There I've had a very good life, and a theatre life, and with lots of people, and I'm used to people.
Right.
And so you meet all sorts of different people. But really, I never thought that coming to Spain, I thought it'd be lovely and happy. I came with a sick husband. That's why I came out here. And he died, and I had to sort of fend for myself since then. And I married again, and my husband gave me this lovely home, left me this lovely home, which to me is a heartache with what's happened to me and what I have done.
Right.
It's such a great mistake, But I didn't. I trusted it. I trusted Peter Hardy. I did, I really did, otherwise I wouldn't have done it.
And you trusted the bank as well? Yeah,
And I trusted the bank, Rothschilds.
Right, of course.
I really trusted them. But
I mean, do you get letters from the bank?
all the time, I get every 3-month statement now
Right.
that I owe them 333,000 for this flat. What you know,
Do you have that money to
I
pay them
haven't
back?
got any money.
Yeah, understandably.
I haven't got any money. I've got my pension.
Yes. Yeah. And this money is obviously
I had to
guaranteed with this property.
exactly.
That means
exactly.
if you don't pay them,
If I don't pay them, I've
They will
lost my
take-
flat.
yeah,
I've got to pay the community here, which, as you can see, it's a lovely area,
fantastic. Yeah.
and it's first-class area, and I pay a very high percentage on this for this area. And I love to keep this flat, and I hope I will never see anything happen to it in my lifetime.
Yeah, Peter, same as you. I
And
was,
my
It's
children-
exactly, it is the same as me.
My children are aghast that I did this thing.
yeah,
They can't believe why I went in with Rothschilds on such a thing.
yes, yeah,
They can't see it. They can't see what's happened.
yeah. I mean, have you ever spoken to anyone at the bank at Rothschild?
No, nobody.
No. Nobody ever called you?
No,
Nobody
I won't
came
say-
down to see
No,
you, to talk
no.
to you?
no, and I really didn't. I got a thing about them that it never happened. I didn't want to speak to them, but nobody's tried to get in touch with me. Nobody. Only the bills every 3 months. The statements.
Peter, yourself, anyone got in touch with you apart from these letters?
Oh, I've been in touch with Rothschilds regularly. I've written about
Do
50
they-
letters to
Do they
them.
call you ever? Or they come
They
see
never
you?
call me. No. They
Do you have
never
any
call me.
local representative come and see
No.
you?
No,
No,
not that we
they've
know
never
about.
called me.
I know.
All I get is an answer back from them saying, Mr. Cosgrove, you are in default, you owe us this money, and we have a lien on your house and a lien on the fund, and unless you meet these liens, we can take your house away from you.
I was going to ask you, when was the last time you had a mortgage before meeting the Rothschilds?
I've never had a mortgage.
I've never had.
Okay.
Ever. My husband's never had mortgages.
So that's the first
No.
brush
It's
with
the
the bank
first
you've ever
thing I
had
had
in
to
your
do
life.
with a mortgage in my life.
Right. And that was in
I'm
Spain.
lucky
Very
as
sad.
Yes. Here
No,
in Spain.
with me, I left England when I was 28, 26 actually, I think it is now, and I went to work in America, and I worked 7 days a week for the next 12 years, 15 years. And mind you, I got well paid for it, and this is all my savings. And I managed to invest half of my savings in an income that is being paid to me now, and the other half has just disappeared.
I was going to ask you, just out of curiosity, have you ever been tempted to fly to Luxembourg to find out where your money is?
No, it's been on my mind. I wondered who'd come with me, but
I'll go with
I
you.
have
We
thought
can all
about
together.
it, haven't I?
Well, I did. I went to Luxembourg.
You were in Luxembourg,
Yes.
You went to see
I went to see about Swiss life,
right.
and they said to me, it's not yours, it belongs to Rothschilds.
Oh,
They have a lien on it, you cannot touch it.
Right.
And you have a lien on it. And I said, well, why is it losing money? I said, I've got some money invested in this time, and it's gaining. I said, but this one is losing all the time. I'm in debt to you, to Rothschilds now, for 399,000 euros out of 278,000 that they advanced.
Right. I was going to ask you a last question. Afterwards, you can do any talking you want. Has Rothschild ever said you need to give us your property, sell your property and give it to us?
Yes, they've told it to me. They've said sell the property and sell your investments and pay us back what you owe us.
Right.
They've actually said that.
But they actually said move out of your home, we will take it over, or they just said yes.
No, they've told me I have to sell it.
Right. Where would you go?
No, I don't know where to go.
And yourself, Julie?
never a letter like
You couldn't
that.
find a place like this one.
No, I would never want to sell it.
I have. I went
I
to
don't.
the hacienda, the register office, to find out what lien was on my house, and I nearly collapsed when the officials in the hacienda said, "You've got a debt on your house, a hypotheca, a mortgage, on your house of 399,000 euros.
It's crazy.
And I said to them, I said, but how can I have that kind of a debt, a mortgage? I said, the house isn't worth 200. You only have 104,000 in the catastral value.
Yeah.
I said, so I'd been very lucky to get 200,000 if I sold it. And they said, well, you can't sell it.
That's all your wealth gone then.
It's like everything gone.
Yeah.
I think Rothschilds would love to see me sleeping under a bridge.
Well, there's one over there. There's a
Yeah. I'd
suspension
rather
bridge.
like that one, but the trouble is it
Share
gets
this
cold in
area.
the winter. In the summer it's very nice actually, but not in the winter.
Well, I'm sure it won't get that far. Well, I just want to thank you. I mean, if there's anything you'd like to add, then by all
Well,
means, you know.
all I would like is to have my house back.
Julian, same, yeah.
I think everybody would want that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, really. It is.
And the worst of it is, before they took me on, my house, I had had alterations done on it by the hacienda, but I'd got permission from the hacienda to do the alterations, but I never registered it as having the alterations done. And Rothschilds caught that out and they said, well, the value of your house, we cannot value your house until you register it with the hacienda. So I, like an idiot, I registered it. It cost me 7,000 euros to revalue because the house was only 30 odd square meters when I bought it, and I turned it into a 95 square meter house. What I actually bought was a view in Benalmádena Pueblo. That's what I bought.
I was going to ask you a question. You're talking about a lot about Rothschild. Rothschild claims that they did not know what the money was for. They were just offering a loan for a property on the Costa del Sol. I mean, what do you make out of that? Do you think it's true? Do you think
Utter
they were in
confusion.
collusion with the agents? Do you think they worked together with the agents?
Oh, I
They
think
obviously knew where the money was going. Yes.
Yeah, I think that the agents were employed by Rothschilds. I definitely think that, because why would I know about Rothschilds and this scheme if an agent didn't come and telephone?
Of course.
They sold it to us.
They sold you this.
They
Sold
sold
it.
it to me, and Peter Hardy told Rothschilds that I had got 2 incomes and I was quite well off, and although he has no family, he can certainly meet any shortfall, and I never even saw that. Only after I'd signed did I get all the papers where I saw all these things written down.
And Peter Hardy exaggerated me being a very rich woman. He thought I was a rich woman and said I lived in Harrogate, I had a beautiful big house there
I can see
and
that.
everything. I lived in Leeds in a very nice house. I brought my family up there with a very nice husband. For many years I lived on the Harrogate Road. So he got confused. It was that area of Leeds, and it's very near to Harewood and the road to Harrogate. And he got either confused or tried to make it sound bigger
Oh, he
to
deliberately.
Rothschilds to accept me.
Right.
I don't think they would have accepted me if I had nothing. If I didn't have this property on it, they wouldn't have
So
accepted
you think
me.
they were looking for money?
That's right. That's right. I don't think they would have looked at me. They were looking for rich people. Most of the people here are quite wealthy people. Lovely, lovely properties here. A lot of the people in this scam I have met,
Yep.
and they've got lovely properties and lots to lose. Lots to lose.
Well, I just want to thank you for this, and we hope it does work out for you
We
in
hope
I
the
hope-
end.
I hope it works out for me.
I'm sure it will.
Because
Sure.
in one letter that I got from Rothschilds, they did write saying, through our due diligence, we know all about you.
Oh, right. Okay.
And we know where you went to live and who you worked for. And I never ever told anybody
So-
about my background.
So they obviously knew you did not need the money.
They obviously knew, yes.
That you were not in need of money.
I wasn't.
You were worried about the inheritance.
I was. That's all I was worried about.
Yeah.
I didn't want the hacienda to take 85% of the value of my house for a friend. It wasn't worth him having it. And so I wrote a letter back to Rothschilds, Rothschilds. I keep saying Rothschilds because I do it the Spanish way. I wrote back to them and I said, if you know all about me, I might as well tell you quite a number of things about me, because I don't think you know that I was born and brought up in an orphanage. My parents were killed when I was a baby, and I was brought up in an orphanage but style cottage homes in Wilmslow, Manchester, and I won a scholarship to a grammar school, and then I left the orphanage at the age of 12 to go to the grammar school, and then at the age of 14, because I didn't make a certain standard in the grammar school, the education authorities told me I had to leave and go to work. And I started work at 14. I worked until I went into the army at 18. I came out of the army at 19, at 20. I did 2 years, and I went back to work. And I worked for St Mary's Group of Hospitals in London. And then I got a job working in America. And I've done everything myself. I've never had anything from the British government, and I refuse to go back to live in England, where they brought me up in an orphanage and I never asked for it.
And you never had a mortgage?
And I never had a mortgage.
There you go. Anyway, just want to thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
For being here in your flat, actually. Still yours.
Thank you.
Thank God for that.
Thank you very much.
Yes, pleasure.
Well, thank you.
Anyway.